Hello, good morning, and welcome to a gateway in Leicestershire, England. And I'm here today on my MT10. And the reason we're talking today is because this is nearing an anniversary. I've had this bike 6 years, and in that time I've clocked up nearly 29,000 miles. And we've taken the beastie to lots of different countries. It's seen lots of places. This is the longest I've ever owned any motorcycle for, any brand. Oh, buzz off, helicopter. Don't you know what I'm trying to do here? Now, there's a couple of reasons I've still got this bike. One, it's an amazing bike to ride. So much fun, so much power. It's a crazy bike, really. It just makes you smile every time you open the throttle. The other reason is its superb, up to now, reliability. All I've done is regularly service it to the manufacturer's schedule at a Yamaha dealer, which is Arnold's in Burton, and they've looked after it from day one. They sold it to me, and last year it had its main valve service, which cost me best part of 800 quid. But for me, it's worth it to keep it serviced, keeps it reliable as far as I'm concerned, and spent no other money on it. Very few mods other than a few touring mods. We've got the brackets for the SW Motec Blaze panniers there. We've got sat-nav on. And as you can see, I know everybody's holding the head that owns an MT10 saying, you've still got the catalytic converter on. Mainly because, as much as I quite like the sound these things make, I've got really bad tinnitus, and loud exhaust just set it off, even if you go and put earplugs in. So, not done it, quite happy to leave it. So it's pretty much standard. It's even got the dreaded reflectors still on. Now this thing has got through I think it's on its sixth set of tyres now. I think it started off on Bridgestone S22s, put another set of Bridgestone S22s, then it had a set of Michelin Road 5s, then another set of Road 5s, and then because I couldn't get Road 5s I went for Pirelli Angel GTs, which I didn't like as much, and I went for Road 5s again, and they hadn't got them when these were right down, and these are Bridgestone T32s, which are supposed to be the latest sport touring tyre. I can't afford to keep going with a really sporty tyre, and I'm not that type of rider. I think I ripped the S22s apart in just over 2,500 miles, so they're just no good if you want to do any sorts of miles, and you want to ride in the wet like we often do when we're out touring. So how's it standing up to 6 years of being used? Well, bits like the fork stanchions there. I follow Carol a lot, and Carol's my partner, and she rides a street triple, and we get lots of stones flipped up, and as you can see, those fork legs there are looking a bit the worse for wear, and there's a few stone chips here and there. There's the odd bolt that's showing corrosion like that. The banjo on the oil cooler there has got a little bit of white on it, and there's little bits of paint flaking away down there, and obviously with use the tyres are looking the wheel rims are looking quite stone chipped, and that's with just use and 6 sets of tyres being fitted. But I never felt the need to get them re-powder coated. I suppose I will do at some point if I keep it. Now I do use this a lot for touring, and it isn't the ideal touring bike, and the main reason is range. Range is this bike's Achilles heel. It's got a 17 litre tank, but it drinks fuel, and you ride it hard and you can empty that 17 litre tank, and I mean completely empty it at 100 miles. Normal riding you're doing about 120, 125 miles, but seriously, just normal riding you are looking for fuel anytime from 90 miles onwards. And if you're somewhere quite rural, it's an inconvenience to say the least, especially if you're riding with people that have got longer range, and it's all the while on your mind. So that is the main reason I would change, and really disappointed that the new model hasn't improved the size of the tank. Anyway, shall we take it for a run? I'm going to go out and get a coffee, and we can chat a little bit more while we're on the road. Doesn't that sound gorgeous, eh? Love the noise this bike makes, even with the cat on. This bike, compared to any other bike I've owned in 40 odd years of riding, is a complete hooligan, an absolute hooligan. I mean, you can open this bike up in first, second or third from the middle of the rev range, and it still lifts the front wheel off the ground, even in the with the traction control switched on. It is a lunatic. That's why you have to be really careful you don't go and get yourself banned. It just encourages you to do stupid stuff. So you can go and get yourself banned for pulling a wheelie and getting caught. So it is an insane weapon, really. Me being a bit of an old duffer, I could still get insurance on it quite cheaply. I could pay around about 200 and something for full cover, and that's with the European breakdown. It's petrol consumption. And to give you an example, Carol and I did a 200-mile round trip to the Old Stores Cafe in Wales from our house in the Midlands, and we worked it out. We don't normally bother working out the fuel consumption, but my bike did the journey at 34 mpg, and that's UK gallons, so 34 mpg. And Carol's Street Triple 675, which has still got 100 odd horsepower, that did it at 54 miles to the gallon. So 54, 34. The thing I do love about this bike, it is so comfortable. I'm 6'3" and about 19 stone, whatever that is in metric. Heavy, fat, but I'm comfortable on this bike, and I've sat on quite a few other super nakeds, including the V4 Aprilia Tuono, and that is definitely more sporty, more cramped, and I don't think I could get on with the Tuono, to be honest with you, as much as they're supposed to be still the ultimate super naked. This bike for me is probably too much, really, for what I ride, and for saying I ride most of the miles behind Carol. So what's not perfect with the bike? I mean, there are a few things. Front brake there isn't as sharp as some bikes I've owned. I mean, it stops well, and lots of people reported sticking better pads in, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it does everything I need it to do. I don't do track days, so it's good enough for my benefit. I think they've upgraded it a little bit on the new machine. Apparently it's still not perfect, but better. Fuel gauge is next to useless, because up to about 70 miles it tells you you've got a full tank, you've got a full tank, you've got a full tank, and then there's no 3/4 mark, drop straight to half, so suddenly you've got half of what you thought you got. And believe you me, it won't stay at half for very long. It'll be at 1/4, and it'll be flashing really, really fast. So don't rely on your fuel gauge. Just set the trip and start looking for fuel at 90 miles. All in all, really a fantastic, amazing machine. But am I going to keep it long term? I don't know. I have got a test ride booked on the new MT10, but 13,500, and the dealer made me a provisional offer of 5 grand on this. 5 grand? Yeah, it's a bit stingy, that, isn't it? It's still one hell of a bike with nothing wrong with it. So with its background and reliability, perhaps I should just hang on to it. That's what Carol thinks I should do. Just hang on and keep riding it. Because if I do buy a more fuel efficient bike, I'm going to buy newer, so I'm going to spend a lot more money again. Take me a long time to make up the difference in fuel range if I go and buy something like the Triumph Tiger 1200, which I have got my eye on. Anyway guys, I'm going to go and get myself a coffee here at Sutton Wharf by the canal and chill out for a few minutes. Thank you very much for watching my 6-year update. Whether there'll be a 7-year update, I'm not sure. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you on the next one.